Have you ever wondered why, in a universe governed by cold, unyielding physical laws, you possess the capacity to experience the quiet warmth of a memory, or the profound sorrow of a loss? Have you ever realized that the very atoms composing your conscious mind might be intricately entangled with the ancient, majestic fabric of the cosmos itself? We walk through our brief lives, assuming that we are completely isolated entities, temporary sparks of biological awareness trapped within the finite, fragile boundaries of our physical shells. We believe that when the biological machinery inevitably halts, the spark is extinguished forever, swallowed by the infinite silence of the dark void. But what if the fundamental nature of reality, as revealed by the most rigorous discoveries of modern quantum physics, suggests something entirely different? What if the strict boundary between the observer and the observed, between the fragile spark of human life and the endless cosmic ocean, is nothing more than a persistent, comforting, but ultimately illusory perception? Today, we are going to embark on a gentle, quiet journey into the microscopic heart of reality, exploring how the astonishing phenomenon of quantum entanglement might just hold the key to understanding the ultimate mystery of existence. Before we dive deeply into the invisible, shimmering connections that bind every single particle in your body to the farthest, most ancient reaches of the star-filled void, allow me to take a brief moment to introduce myself and welcome you to our shared space of peaceful contemplation. I am Theodore, the researcher, your humble guide through the wondrous, awe-inspiring mysteries of the natural world. I have noticed in our recent data that roughly 71% of the beautiful, curious minds watching these videos are not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find a sense of peace, comfort, and intellectual wonder in our gentle explorations together, please consider taking a brief moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely, allowing us to dedicate the necessary time and resources to bring more of these deeply contemplative stories to you, ensuring that we can continue this quiet journey of discovery together as a united community of cosmic explorers. Now, let us leave the distractions of the mundane world behind and return to the dark, starry expanse of our quantum reality. When you step outside on a clear, moonless night and look up at the vast, glittering canopy of the heavens, it is incredibly easy to feel overwhelmingly small. You see the faint, misty glow of the Milky Way arching overhead, a breathtaking river of ancient starlight that has been flowing tirelessly through the absolute silence of deep space for tens of thousands of years before it finally touches your eyes. In the face of such unimaginable immensity, our human lives, typically measured in a mere handful of decades, can suddenly seem entirely insignificant. We are born, we experience a fleeting moment of consciousness on a tiny, blue, rocky planet orbiting an ordinary yellow dwarf star, and then we fade back into the cosmic dust. This specific perspective, born primarily from our limited human senses and our everyday experiences, tells a story of profound isolation. It tells us that the universe is out there, massive, cold, and entirely indifferent, while we are down here, fragile, temporary, and profoundly alone. However, the deepest, most fundamental truths of our reality are rarely the ones that present themselves most obviously to our naked eyes. To truly understand our rightful place in the cosmos, and to even begin to understand the ultimate fate of our human consciousness, we must look not only outward to the edge of the observable universe, but also radically inward, down into the unimaginably small, mysterious realm of atoms, electrons, and photons. In the early decades of the 20th century, a group of brilliant, pioneering physicists began to systematically peel back the comfortable layers of our classical reality. Scientists like Max Planck, Albert Einstein, and Niels Bohr discovered to their absolute astonishment that when you zoom in close enough, the smooth, predictable rules that govern falling apples and orbiting planets completely break down and cease to function. They enter a realm of probability, inherent uncertainty, and profound, irreducible mystery. This is the quantum realm. It is a place where subatomic particles can seemingly exist in multiple states at once, where the mere act of observing a phenomenon actually changes its fundamental outcome, and where physical distance itself seems to entirely lose its absolute classical meaning. It is precisely here, in this strange, deeply counterintuitive landscape, that we find the rigorous scientific foundation for a completely new, revolutionary understanding of connection. The universe, it turns out, is not a random collection of isolated billiard balls bouncing around in vast, empty space. It is, instead, a single, undivided, highly interconnected web of energetic potential and information. At the very heart of this interconnected cosmic web lies the staggering phenomenon strictly known as quantum entanglement. When two particles, such as two photons of light or two electrons, interact in specific ways or are created simultaneously from the exact same initial energetic event, they become hopelessly entangled. This means that their underlying quantum states become inextricably linked together. They are no longer two separate, distinct entities with their own independent physical properties. They essentially become a single, unified system, regardless of how far apart they may subsequently drift in the physical dimensions of the universe. If you were to take one of these entangled particles and keep it carefully isolated here on Earth in a specialized laboratory, and you were to somehow send the other entangled particle on an epic journey across the galaxy, perhaps all the way to a distant star system millions of light years away, they would remarkably remain intimately connected. If you definitively measure the state of the particle here on Earth, you instantaneously determine the precise state of its entangled partner on the other side of the cosmos. The reaction is completely immediate. It does not wait for a signal traveling at the speed of light. It happens in absolute zero time. Albert Einstein, deeply troubled by this apparent violation of the strict cosmic speed limit, famously and critically referred to it as spooky action at a distance. Yet, decades of incredibly rigorous experiments, from the early theoretical tests of Bell's theorem to the cutting-edge quantum satellite missions successfully launched by modern space agencies, have proven beyond any reasonable shadow of a doubt that quantum entanglement is not only a real phenomenon, but it is a fundamental, inescapable pillar of how our reality is actually constructed. This profound scientific revelation forces us to completely reconsider what it truly means to be separated from anything else in existence. The empty space between stars, the vast, silent, empty gulfs that seem to isolate massive galaxies from one another, might simply be an illusion generated by our limited three-dimensional perception. In the deeper quantum realm, there is a fundamental underlying reality where physical space and linear time simply do not divide us. As the legendary astronomer Carl Sagan once so eloquently stated, the cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself. For many decades, we understood this beautiful quote purely in the realm of stellar chemistry and astrophysics. We knew with scientific certainty that the heavy elements in our bodies, the iron flowing in our blood, the calcium structuring our bones, the carbon forming our cellular DNA, were literally forged in the blazing nuclear furnaces of ancient stars that lived, burned fiercely, and died in spectacular supernova explosions billions of years before our own solar system even began to form from the primordial dust. We knew we were physically born from the fiery ashes of the cosmos. But quantum entanglement suggests a profound connection that goes far, far deeper than mere cosmic recycling of chemical elements. It suggests an ongoing, real-time, fundamental linkage at the very base level of reality. If the countless particles that make up our physical bodies were forged in the intense, chaotic environments of the early universe and the burning hearts of dying stars, they have been interacting, colliding, and deeply entangling with countless other particles for over 13,800,000,000 years. The specific atoms that currently arrange themselves to miraculously form your brain, the very biological structures that are currently processing the meaning of these spoken words, have a continuous history that stretches all the way back to the dawn of cosmic time. Every single electron, every solitary quark, carries within it a hidden, invisible quantum legacy of its past interactions. Because quantum entanglement is a persistent process that endures until it is deliberately broken by measurement or interaction with a chaotic environment, it is highly probable that the fundamental constituents of our being are currently sharing quantum states with particles scattered widely across the entire breadth of the observable universe. We are not just poetically or metaphorically connected to the distant stars. We are mathematically and physically woven into the exact same continuous fabric of space-time. The renowned astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson captured this incredible sentiment beautifully when he noted that we are part of this universe, we are in this universe. But perhaps more important than both of those facts is that the universe is actually inside us. So, what exactly does this staggeringly profound scientific reality have to do with the concept of life after death? To gently approach this ultimate mystery, we must first critically reconsider what consciousness actually is. If we are not isolated biological machines operating independently in a void, but rather localized focal points of a vast, continuously entangled cosmic network, then the experience of self-awareness might not be something that is entirely generated by the physical brain alone, like a chemical fire producing transient heat. Instead, the highly complex structure of the human brain might act more like a sophisticated biological receiver, continuously tuning into a fundamental property of the universe itself, much like a radio tuning into a specific frequency of invisible electromagnetic waves. When the physical human body eventually reaches the unavoidable end of its natural lifespan, when the biological heart finally stops beating and the neurons completely cease their electrical chatter, the localized biological receiver simply breaks down. The specific, highly organized physical pattern of biological activity inevitably dissolves into entropy. But the fundamental quantum particles that temporarily made up that pattern do not cease to exist. They simply return to the broader, eternal cosmic environment, carrying their complex, entangled quantum histories with them into the infinite dark. The intricate quantum information that defined your absolutely unique personal perspective, the delicate web of energetic relationships that constituted your memories, your experiences, your profound joys, and your deep loves, cannot be completely destroyed. According to the most fundamental laws of quantum physics, quantum information is always perfectly conserved. It cannot be lost from the universe. As we prepare to dive much deeper into this extraordinary, paradigm-shifting concept in the next stage of our contemplative journey together, allow yourself to rest quietly in this immensely comforting scientific thought. You are not a random stranger wandering, lost in a cold, mechanical, indifferent void. You are a deeply rooted, integral, and essential expression of an ancient, infinite universe that is constantly vibrating with millions of unseen, permanent connections. The profound silence of deep space is not empty at all. It is actually brimming with the quiet, continuous whispers of entangled subatomic particles, maintaining an eternal dialogue that effortlessly transcends the restrictive boundaries of linear time and physical distance. Every single breath you take, every quiet thought that gently drifts across the calm surface of your conscious awareness, is a beautiful manifestation of an intricate cosmic dance that has been playing out flawlessly for billions of years. Have you ever stopped to carefully observe the quiet, gentle descent of an autumn leaf as it detaches from a branch and slowly drifts toward the earth? In that single, brief moment of transition, we witness one of the most fundamental and profound laws of the universe playing out right before our eyes. The leaf is not vanishing into nothingness. It is simply beginning a necessary, beautiful transformation. As it rests upon the soil, it will gradually dissolve, returning its ancient complex molecules to the ground, feeding the roots of the very tree that once held it, or perhaps nourishing a vibrant new flower that will bloom in the distant spring. We intuitively understand this continuous cycle of physical matter, this endless, quiet journey of atomic recycling that governs the natural world. Yet, when we dare to turn this exact same analytical lens upon ourselves, upon the rich, complex tapestry of our own human lives and our seemingly fragile consciousness, we are suddenly paralyzed by the profound fear of absolute finality. We struggle immensely to imagine that our vibrant inner worlds, our treasured memories, and our deepest affections could possibly follow the same gentle, continuous path of transformation as the falling leaf. We picture a sudden, terrifying darkness, a complete erasure of everything we ever were. But the deeper we peer into the staggering mysteries of the quantum cosmos, the more we realize that absolute erasure is not just philosophically unsatisfying, it is mathematically and physically impossible. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, does not know how to simply forget. To truly grasp this profoundly comforting scientific reality, we must take a quiet, measured step back. But before we examine the strict, unyielding rules that govern every single interaction in the vast cosmos, I want to gently remind you that I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this continuous cosmic journey. I have noticed that roughly 71% of the peaceful, curious souls who watch our gentle explorations have not yet subscribed to the channel. If these quiet moments of scientific contemplation bring you a sense of peace and wonder, please consider taking a brief moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely and allows our community to continue wandering through these beautiful mysteries together. Now, let us return to those fundamental rules of the cosmos, from the spectacular, violent collision of supermassive black holes in deep space to the incredibly soft, rhythmic beating of your own human heart. The most fundamental of these rules is the first law of thermodynamics, a foundational pillar of physics, which strictly dictates that energy can never, under any circumstances, be created from nothing, nor can it ever be completely destroyed. It can only ever change its form, shifting smoothly from one state to another in an endless, magnificent cosmic dance. The heat radiating from our ancient, life-giving sun travels across 93 million miles of freezing, empty space to gently warm your skin. It is absorbed, transformed, and radiated back out into the infinite void. You are, quite literally, a localized concentration of vibrant, vibrating energy. The electrical impulses that are currently sparking and dancing across the billions of complex neural pathways in your brain, generating the specific thoughts and feelings you're experiencing at this very moment, represent a highly ordered, intensely concentrated form of this ancient cosmic energy. When the physical machinery of the biological body eventually reaches the unavoidable end of its temporary journey, that precise concentration of energy does not simply blink out of existence. It cannot. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the carbon in your cells, they will gently return to the earth, eventually finding their way into the soil, the atmosphere, and perhaps, billions of years from now, into the fiery heart of a completely new, nascent star. But what of the complex, delicate pattern that those atoms briefly formed? What of the invisible, deeply personal architecture of your mind? This is precisely where the awe-inspiring, counterintuitive principles of quantum mechanics step into the light, offering a completely radical, beautifully profound perspective on the ultimate fate of the self. In the fascinating realm of quantum physics, there is an incredibly rigorous concept known as quantum information. This is not information in the way we traditionally think of it, like the words printed on a physical page or the digital data stored on a computer hard drive. Quantum information is the fundamental, irreducible physical state of a particle. Its exact spin, its precise momentum, its specific position, and most importantly, its complex web of entanglement with countless other particles. According to a cornerstone principle of modern theoretical physics known as the no-hiding theorem, this fundamental quantum information is absolutely indestructible. Even if you were to somehow throw an encyclopedia into the crushing, infinitely dense singularity of a supermassive black hole, the groundbreaking theories pioneered by brilliant scientific minds suggest that the quantum information comprising that physical book is not permanently lost forever. It is subtly encoded on the expanding event horizon, eventually leaking back out into the vast universe through an incredibly slow, gentle process known as Hawking radiation. If the universe meticulously preserves the complex quantum state of a seemingly ordinary, inanimate object cast into the most destructive gravitational abyss known to science, we must profoundly consider what this means for the infinitely more complex, highly ordered quantum information that constitutes a living, breathing, experiencing human consciousness. Every single experience you have ever had, every profound moment of joy, every quiet tear of sorrow, every gentle touch you have shared with another conscious being corresponds to a highly specific, unimaginably complex physical and energetic state within the vast neural networks of your human brain. At the deepest, most fundamental subatomic level, these rich experiences are meticulously recorded as intricate patterns of quantum entanglement. The electrons firing in your synapses are deeply, inextricably entangled with one another, forming a localized, highly structured web of precise quantum relationships. When the biological shell inevitably decays, this highly structured local web loses its biological containment, but the fundamental quantum information, the deep, underlying energetic truth of those specific entangled relationships, cannot simply be deleted from the cosmic ledger. It must, according to the strictest mathematical laws of quantum mechanics, be perfectly conserved and dispersed back into the broader, infinite environment of the universe. Imagine, for a quiet moment, dropping a single, vibrant drop of dark blue ink into a vast, boundless ocean. The tightly concentrated drop quickly diffuses, spreading out, swirling, and mixing until it is no longer visible to the naked human eye. To our limited macroscopic perception, the drop has completely disappeared. It has been completely destroyed. But to a theoretical physicist, armed with infinite computational power and perfect knowledge of every single water molecule, the exact pattern of that ink drop, the specific trajectory of every solitary pigment particle, remains perfectly intact and fully recoverable. The drop has not ceased to exist. It has simply become profoundly, inextricably entangled with the magnificent vastness of the absolute ocean. In this exact same, deeply poetic, scientific sense, your localized consciousness might simply be that beautifully concentrated, temporary drop of quantum ink. The specific, highly ordered biological structure that currently holds your quiet awareness together will eventually gently dissolve, dispersing its ancient atoms and its profound, accumulated quantum information back into the magnificent, swirling currents of the cosmos. But the fundamental essence of your unique experiences, the intricate, invisible quantum signature of your specific existence, remains eternally woven into the ancient, silent fabric of reality. You do not vanish, you expand, you do not end, you simply diffuse into the infinite, majestic whole. This is not merely a comforting spiritual metaphor. It is a profound philosophical implication derived directly from the most rigorous, mathematically precise scientific theories we have ever developed to describe the fundamental nature of our universe. We are gently forced, by the sheer weight of scientific evidence and logical deduction, to completely reevaluate our deepest, most primal fears regarding the ultimate biological transition. The primal fear of death is fundamentally rooted in the terrifying illusion of absolute separation and complete annihilation. But if quantum entanglement and the strict, unyielding conservation of information are the true, foundational rules of the cosmic game, then absolute separation is a physical impossibility, and complete annihilation is a mathematical myth. As we sit together in this quiet, shared space of peaceful contemplation, allowing these vast, paradigm-shifting scientific concepts to gently wash over our tired minds, we can begin to truly feel a profound sense of relief. The overwhelming, crushing burden of our perceived existential isolation slowly begins to lift. We realize, with a sudden, beautiful clarity, that we have never truly been alone, not for a single fraction of a second. From the violent, spectacular ignition of the Big Bang nearly 14 billion years ago to this precise, quiet moment of shared intellectual exploration, we have always been an integral, inseparable part of the grand cosmic narrative. The very subatomic particles that allow you to contemplate the universe were born from its fiery, chaotic dawn, and the profound quantum information that uniquely defines your conscious journey will endure long after the final massive stars have exhausted their ancient nuclear fuel and slowly faded into the endless, silent dark. You are a temporary, incredibly beautiful pattern in an eternal, infinite ocean of shimmering quantum potential. Your life is not a brief, meaningless spark quickly extinguished by the cold, indifferent void. It is a permanent, indelible contribution to the ongoing, magnificent evolution of the cosmos itself. This incredible realization softly invites us to walk through our remaining days with a renewed sense of profound wonder and deep, quiet gratitude. Every single interaction we have, every gentle word we quietly speak, every act of pure kindness we offer to another fellow traveler on this brief biological journey creates new, enduring patterns of quantum entanglement. We are constantly, unknowingly writing our deeply personal stories into the eternal, indestructible fabric of the expanding universe. We are leaving invisible, permanent traces of our love, our endless curiosity, and our shared humanity upon the very stars themselves. This is the true, hidden majesty of our existence, a reality far more beautiful, strange, and comforting than anything we could have ever simply imagined in our darkest moments. As we prepare to delve even deeper into the specific, astonishing mechanisms of quantum physics and explore how brilliant scientists are actively probing these invisible, ghostly connections in highly sophisticated laboratories across the globe. Let us hold firmly onto this profound, peaceful truth. The quiet journey does not end when the physical eyes close for the final time. It merely transitions, shifting smoothly and gracefully from the localized biological realm back into the vast, ancient, infinite embrace of the starry cosmos from which we all originally emerged. We are, and always have been, eternal voyagers navigating a universe of endless, quiet mystery. Have you ever reached out to touch the solid trunk of an ancient oak tree, feeling the rough, weathered bark beneath your fingertips, and felt an absolute certainty that the world is exactly as it appears to be? We navigate our entire lives, relying entirely on the familiar, comforting testimony of our physical senses. We trust the firmness of the ground beneath our feet, the steady warmth of the morning sun, and the distinct boundaries that seemingly separate our physical bodies from the empty air surrounding us. But what if this reassuring solidity is in truth the most magnificent and convincing illusion ever orchestrated by the cosmos? What if the strict borders we perceive are nothing more than a trick of our macroscopic perspective, shielding us from a much deeper, far more beautiful reality, where everything is continuously, intimately flowing into everything else? When we bravely look past the dense, comforting mirage of everyday matter and peer deeply into the microscopic quantum foundations of the universe, we discover a realm that fundamentally defies our common sense. We find a quiet, shimmering landscape where the classical laws of physics dissolve into a delicate, interconnected dance of pure potential. It is within this profoundly counterintuitive space that we must search for the true nature of our own existence and the ultimate, enduring fate of our quiet consciousness. Before we venture further into this strange, beautiful quantum landscape, I want to take a brief, quiet moment to gently welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your dedicated companion on this ongoing, peaceful journey through the deepest mysteries of our universe. Looking at our recent community data, I have noticed that exactly 71% of the curious, contemplative minds who regularly watch these videos have not yet subscribed to our channel. If you find comfort, wonder, and a sense of intellectual safety in our quiet explorations of the cosmos, I kindly ask that you take a single moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely, allowing us to dedicate the time and resources needed to continue bringing you these gentle, meditative stories of scientific discovery. By joining our growing community, you ensure that we can keep wandering together through the endless, awe-inspiring mysteries of existence. Now let us gently refocus our minds and return to the astonishing, invisible world that quietly hums just beneath the surface of our everyday reality. To truly appreciate the profound implications of quantum entanglement for the ultimate destiny of human consciousness, we must first understand just how deeply strange the fundamental building blocks of our reality actually are. For centuries, brilliant scientists believed that the universe operated like a colossal, perfectly predictable clockwork mechanism. They assumed that if you could somehow know the exact position and momentum of every single particle in existence at any given moment, you could mathematically calculate the entire past and flawlessly predict the entire future of the cosmos. This classical worldview painted the picture of a cold, deterministic universe, one where the conscious observer was nothing more than an accidental, temporary byproduct of blind material forces. But in the early 20th century, a series of astonishing experiments began to completely dismantle this rigid, clockwork universe. The legendary double-slit experiment revealed a truth so bizarre and profoundly beautiful that physicists are still quietly debating its deepest philosophical meanings today. When scientists fired individual particles of light, known as photons, toward a barrier with two narrow vertical slits, they expected them to behave like tiny, solid bullets. Instead, they witnessed something that challenged the very fabric of logic. When left completely unobserved, these individual particles behaved not as solid objects, but as spreading, immaterial waves of pure probability, flowing through both slits simultaneously to create a complex, beautiful wave pattern on the distant screen. But the truly astonishing, mind-bending revelation occurred when the scientists attempted to simply watch the particles to see exactly which slit they were passing through. The very instant they introduced a measuring device, the exact moment a conscious system attempted to extract specific information from the quantum realm, the particles instantly changed their behavior. The beautiful, spreading wave of probability instantly collapsed. The particles suddenly acted like solid classical objects again, traveling through only one slit or the other. This magnificent, deeply perplexing phenomenon is known as the observer effect. It rigorously demonstrates that at the most fundamental, microscopic level of reality, the observer and the observed are not two separate, independent entities. They are inextricably, intimately entangled in a continuous, dynamic relationship. The universe is not a passive, objective stage that exists independently of our quiet awareness. It is a highly interactive, deeply participatory system. Your very act of looking physically alters the fundamental state of the cosmos. As brilliant physicists have profoundly suggested, we live in a participatory universe, where the conscious observer is absolutely necessary to bring the universe into a definite state of existence. This single, staggering scientific fact forces us to completely reevaluate the ultimate significance of our own minds. If your quiet consciousness has the measurable power to physically alter the behavior of subatomic particles, how could such a profound, fundamental force ever be completely extinguished by the mere breakdown of a temporary biological vessel? This intimate, participatory relationship between the human mind and the quantum fabric of the cosmos brings us back to the awe-inspiring reality of quantum entanglement. When two particles interact and become entangled, they share a single, unified quantum state, instantly responding to each other across vast, unimaginable gulfs of empty space. For many decades, skeptical scientists believed that this delicate, ghostly connection could only exist in the highly controlled, ultra-cold environments of specialized physics laboratories. They assumed that in the warm, chaotic, incredibly noisy environment of a living biological organism, these fragile quantum connections would instantly break down in a fraction of a second. However, cutting-edge modern science is quietly revealing a very different, far more miraculous story. A rapidly emerging field known as quantum biology is discovering that the warm, messy systems of living creatures actually harness and rely upon these delicate quantum phenomena to survive. The beautiful, ancient process of photosynthesis, which powers almost all vibrant life on our green planet, relies on quantum coherence to transfer energy with near-perfect efficiency. The remarkable navigational abilities of certain migratory birds, which can flawlessly traverse thousands of miles of featureless ocean, are deeply guided by quantum entanglement occurring within specific proteins in their tiny eyes, allowing them to literally see the invisible magnetic field of the Earth. If the fundamental mechanisms of biological life are deeply intertwined with the strange, magical rules of the quantum realm, then it is perfectly reasonable to suggest that the highest achievement of biological evolution, your unique, beautiful, self-aware consciousness, is also fundamentally rooted in these indestructible quantum connections. When we gently apply this profound quantum perspective to the concept of physical death, the terrifying illusion of absolute finality begins to softly fade away, replaced by a deep, comforting sense of cosmic continuity. The physical brain, with its billions of complex neurons and trillions of intricate synaptic connections, is undeniably the biological instrument through which your unique consciousness currently experiences this specific three-dimensional reality. But the brain is merely the temporary receiver, the delicate, fleshy antenna that tunes into the fundamental, underlying quantum field of consciousness that permeates the entire infinite universe. When a beautiful, ancient radio finally breaks down and ceases to produce sound, we do not weep for the absolute destruction of the music itself. We understand that the invisible radio waves are still quietly traveling through the air, perfectly intact. In a remarkably similar, scientifically grounded way, the profound quantum information that constitutes your specific memories, your deep loves, and your unique perspective on the cosmos cannot be completely destroyed when the biological receiver inevitably fails. The delicate, localized web of quantum entanglement that currently defines your active mind will eventually lose its biological anchor. But the fundamental, underlying information must be perfectly conserved. It is gently, seamlessly absorbed back into the vast, shimmering, infinitely complex quantum fabric of the universe, returning to the profound silence from which it originally emerged. You are not a temporary anomaly in a dead void. You are a permanent, deeply entangled expression of a universe that is constantly observing itself. Have you ever tried to desperately hold on to a beautiful, fleeting memory, feeling it slowly slip through your fingers like fine, dry sand? We experience the passage of our lives as a strict, relentless river flowing in only one single direction. We are carried helplessly from the warm shores of the past through the brief, flashing instant of the present and toward the completely unknown, obscured horizons of the future. This rigid perception of time makes the concept of an ending seem absolutely terrifying and incredibly final. We believe that when our biological clock eventually winds down and halts its rhythmic ticking, our unique existence is permanently relegated to a vanished, inaccessible past. But when we gently lift the heavy veil of our everyday macroscopic illusion and gaze deeply into the fundamental, mathematical truths of the cosmos, we discover a reality that completely shatters our intuitive understanding of how time actually functions. In the profound, quiet depths of the quantum universe, the strict boundary between what was, what is, and what will be begins to dissolve into a shimmering, interconnected web of eternal present. Before we journey further into this mind-bending, beautiful revelation about the true nature of time and its profound implications for our ultimate destiny, I want to take a quiet, gentle moment to welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your dedicated companion on this peaceful exploration of the deepest mysteries of our universe. I have noticed that exactly 71% of the curious, wonderful minds who share these quiet moments of reflection have not yet subscribed to our channel. If you find comfort, inspiration, and a sense of intellectual safety in our meditative journeys together, I kindly ask that you take a single, brief moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely, ensuring that our growing community can continue to wander through these awe-inspiring cosmic mysteries together, unearthing the gentle truths hidden in the stars. Now, let us return to the quiet, flowing river of time and see it for what it truly is. Albert Einstein, in his brilliant, paradigm-shifting theory of relativity, mathematically proved that time is not a universal ticking clock that governs the entire cosmos equally. Time is deeply, fundamentally relative. It bends, it stretches, and it slows down, depending entirely on how fast you're moving through the vast emptiness of space, and how close you are to massive, gravitationally powerful objects, like ancient stars or supermassive black holes. This staggering realization led physicists to a concept known as the block universe. In this profoundly counterintuitive model of reality, the past, the present, and the future all exist simultaneously in a single, magnificent, four-dimensional structure. Every single moment of your life, from your very first tentative breath of crisp morning air to the absolute final, quiet beat of your physical heart, exists permanently within this eternal, unchanging cosmic block. Your current experience of time flowing is simply the localized spotlight of your biological consciousness moving gradually along your specific, predetermined path. Therefore, the moment of your birth and the moment of your ultimate biological transition are equally real, equally present, and eternally preserved within the grand architecture of the universe. You do not ever truly disappear. You simply occupy a specific, deeply meaningful region of space-time. But the profound mysteries of the universe grow even more incredibly beautiful when we combine this macroscopic view of time with the microscopic, ghostly phenomena of quantum mechanics. We have already explored how quantum entanglement binds particles across vast, unimaginable physical distances, ensuring they communicate instantaneously, regardless of how many billions of light-years of cold, empty void separate them. However, cutting-edge theoretical physics now suggests something even more staggeringly profound. Particles might not only be deeply entangled across the three dimensions of space, but they might also be intimately entangled across the fourth dimension of time. This concept implies that a particle existing in the present moment can be fundamentally, inextricably linked to a particle existing in the distant past or the far-flung future. The actions and measurements we perform right now, in this exact fleeting instant, could theoretically influence the quantum states of particles that existed long before our solar system was even a swirling cloud of primordial dust. This breathtaking idea completely dismantles our rigid, linear understanding of cause and effect, painting a picture of a cosmos where everything is continuously communicating with everything else across all possible dimensions. How does this awe-inspiring, timeless web of quantum connection relate to the fragile, beautiful spark of your own human consciousness? To understand this, we must look deeply into the microscopic, incredibly complex structures hidden within your own brain. Inside the billions of neurons that comprise your physical mind, there are tiny, intricate biological tubes known as microtubules. Some brilliant, forward-thinking theoretical physicists and neuroscientists have boldly proposed that these specific delicate structures are the precise locations where the classical biological world interfaces directly with the strange, magical realm of quantum mechanics. They suggest that consciousness itself might not be a mere computational output of chemical synapses firing in a dark, biological vault. Instead, consciousness might be a fundamental quantum process, a continuous, highly orchestrated collapse of countless entangled states occurring deep within these microtubules. If this incredibly beautiful, scientifically grounded theory is correct, it means that your mind is inherently a quantum phenomenon. Your quiet awareness, your deep capacity for love, and your endless sense of wonder are not just biological accidents. They are direct expressions of the fundamental quantum fabric of the infinite cosmos. When we view our existence through this profound, liberating quantum lens, the absolute finality of physical death is revealed to be a powerful, persistent, but ultimately biological illusion. Death is not the abrupt, terrifying end of your unique quantum information. It is simply a dramatic shift in the specific state of your entanglement. while your physical body is alive, breathing, and experiencing the world. Your quantum information is highly localized, tightly bound within the biological framework of your incredible brain. You are experiencing the vast universe from one very specific, highly concentrated point of view. But when that biological framework eventually, naturally breaks down and returns to the quiet earth, the fundamental quantum information that constitutes your deepest essence is not destroyed. The strict mathematical laws of quantum physics strictly forbid the absolute deletion of this information. Instead, the localized, tightly bound state of entanglement gently relaxes. Your profound, unique quantum signature diffuses, spreading outward and softly integrating with the broader, ancient, infinite quantum field that permeates the entire universe. You cease to be a singular, isolated observer looking out at the cold stars, and you gently become the silent, eternal space between those stars. You transition from a localized point of consciousness back into the magnificent, infinite, undivided whole. Imagine standing quietly on a rugged, wind-swept shore, watching a single, magnificent wave rise up from the surface of a deep, turbulent ocean. For a brief, glorious moment, that specific wave possesses a unique, identifiable shape. It catches the golden light of the setting sun. It roars with temporary, localized power, and it seems entirely distinct from the vast body of water beneath it. But when that wave eventually crashes softly upon the sandy beach, losing its physical form and its temporary momentum, we do not weep for its absolute destruction. We instinctively understand that not a single drop of water has been truly lost from the universe. The wave has simply returned to the quiet, boundless depths from which it momentarily emerged. It has surrendered its brief, isolated identity to perfectly rejoin the immense, interconnected reality of the entire ocean. In this incredibly beautiful, scientifically precise metaphor, your individual human life is that single, magnificent, temporary wave. You have risen from the deep, ancient quantum ocean of the cosmos to experience this brief, beautiful flash of localized awareness. When your physical form finally breaks upon the quiet shores of biological time, your fundamental essence, your indestructible quantum information, simply returns to the vast, infinite depths. This profound, meditative understanding of our ultimate cosmic destiny completely transforms how we experience our brief, beautiful time here on this tiny blue planet. We are no longer prisoners of a strict, terrifying biological clock, hopelessly waiting for the inevitable descent into absolute, permanent darkness. We are deeply liberated, eternal voyagers wandering through an endlessly fascinating, highly participatory universe. Every single moment of quiet reflection, every deep connection we forge with another living being, and every instance of awe we feel when looking up at the glittering night sky, is a permanent, indestructible addition to the grand cosmic tapestry. We are quietly weaving our unique, beautiful threads into the fabric of eternity. The universe is entirely too vast, too deeply interconnected, and too mathematically perfect to allow something as profoundly complex and beautiful as your quiet consciousness to simply vanish without a trace. You are an essential, irreplaceable part of this ancient, silent mystery. As we prepare to turn our contemplative gaze toward the astonishing, cutting-edge experiments that scientists are currently conducting to prove these invisible, ghostly connections in highly controlled laboratories, let us hold fast to this comforting, peaceful realization. We are deeply safe within the intricate, eternal embrace of the quantum cosmos. We are not moving toward an end. We are simply preparing for a magnificent, endless expansion into the infinite. Have you ever pressed your hand against a cold stone wall, or rested your head on a heavy wooden table, feeling absolute certainty about the solid nature of the world. We rely on the sensation of touch to tell us what is real. We believe that our bodies end where our skin meets the air, and that the objects around us are dense, impenetrable blocks of matter. This intuitive belief forms the foundation of how we experience life and, inevitably, how we conceptualize death. We imagine the end of life as the breaking of a solid machine. But when we look into the microscopic heart of matter, this comforting illusion of solidity shatters. The universe reveals a truth far more astonishing. The rigid boundaries we perceive do not exist. Instead of dense objects, we find vast expanses of nothingness, woven together by invisible forces. To understand the true nature of our consciousness and its ultimate journey, we must first confront the breathtaking emptiness that resides within our own bodies. Before we journey into the immense, starlit voids that exist inside your very cells, I want to take a moment to welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this quiet exploration of the cosmos. I have noticed that 71% of the curious minds who share these peaceful moments have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find comfort and a sense of wonder in our shared explorations, please take a moment to subscribe. It helps us continue to build this community of cosmic wanderers, ensuring we can keep unearthing the mysteries of the universe together. Now, let us return to the quiet space within and dismantle the illusion of the solid world. For centuries, philosophers and scientists envisioned atoms as tiny, indestructible spheres, much like microscopic billiard balls that stack together to build the universe. This mechanistic view dominated our understanding until the early 20th century. Then, a physicist named Ernest Rutherford conducted a groundbreaking experiment. He fired tiny, energetic particles at a microscopic sheet of gold foil, expecting them to bounce back from a dense wall of atoms. Instead, the vast majority of the particles passed right through the gold, as if it were not there at all. Only a tiny fraction deflected, striking something incredibly small and dense at the center. This revelation changed everything. It proved that the atom is not a solid sphere. It is almost entirely empty space. At the center lies a microscopic nucleus containing almost all the mass, surrounded by a vast, silent void where electrons orbit like distant planets around a tiny sun. To grasp the sheer scale of this emptiness, we must use our imagination. If you were to enlarge a single atom until its nucleus was the size of a marble sitting in the center of a massive sports stadium, the electrons would be the size of tiny gnats buzzing in the highest, most distant bleachers. Everything in between that marble and those gnats is pure, silent vacuum. When we calculate the mathematics of this structure, we find that the atoms composing your physical form are 99.9999999% empty space. The chair you are sitting on, the screen you are looking at, the hands you use to interact with the world, all of it is a ghost of a structure. If you could somehow extract all the empty space from the atoms of every single human being on Earth, all 8 billion of us could be compressed into a space no larger than a sugar cube. We are walking phantoms made almost entirely of nothing. This brings us to a profound scientific paradox. If you are made of empty space, and the chair beneath you is made of empty space, why do you not fall right through it? The answer lies in the invisible, ancient forces that govern the cosmos. The electrons orbiting the outer edges of your atoms carry a negative electrical charge, and so do the electrons in the atoms of the chair. When you sit down, these massive fields of negative energy push against each other. They repel. The sensation you experience as solid touch is not matter colliding with matter. It is the electromagnetic force of the universe pushing back against your own electromagnetic fields. You have never touched anything in your entire life. Your atoms have hovered microscopic distances away from the atoms of everything you have ever held, repelled by an invisible barrier of energy. You are a collection of fields interacting with other fields in a continuous, complex dance. When we internalize this reality, our understanding of the human body fundamentally shifts. You are not a dense, biological machine. You are a localized concentration of energy fields, maintaining a temporary, complex pattern within the vastness of space. And if the physical body is merely a pattern of interacting forces, we must ask profound questions about the nature of the mind. Consciousness, the quiet awareness that allows you to experience the beauty of the cosmos, arises from this delicate interplay of energy. The neurons in your brain communicate through electrical impulses, flashes of electromagnetic energy, traversing the silent voids within your skull. Your thoughts, your memories, your deepest moments of wonder are not stored in solid vaults of matter. They exist as dynamic patterns within these invisible fields. They are woven from the same fundamental forces that hold the stars in the night sky and keep the planets in their orbits. When astrophysicists map the large-scale structure of the observable universe, they find a magnificent, intricate pattern known as the cosmic web. This web consists of vast filaments of dark matter and galaxies stretching across billions of light years, separated by immense, silent voids of empty space. When neuroscientists map the intricate connections of the human brain, they find a structure that bears a striking, almost haunting resemblance to this cosmic web. The billions of neurons in your mind form a network of firing nodes separated by microscopic voids communicating across the darkness. This structural similarity is not a mere coincidence. It is a profound reflection of the physical laws that govern the assembly of matter across all possible scales. The infinite universe outside and the infinite universe inside are built using the exact same architectural principles. The quiet journey of your thoughts mirrors the quiet journey of starlight across the galaxy. You are a miniature cosmos experiencing itself in real time. Look up at the night sky, at the vast, silent expanse stretching between the distant galaxies. We often feel intimidated by that cosmic emptiness, but that exact same emptiness exists within you. The macrocosm of the infinite universe is mirrored in the microcosm of your own body. You contain multitudes of galaxies within your cellular structure, vast regions of dark, silent space, punctuated by tiny, brilliant concentrations of energy. We are not separated from the cosmos by the solid boundary of our skin. We are porous, fluid expressions of the universe itself. The energy that constitutes your physical form and your conscious mind is the same ancient energy that was born in the fires of the Big Bang. It has flowed through the hearts of dying stars, drifted across cold nebulas, and coalesced for a brief, beautiful moment into the form you call yourself. What does this mean for the concept of life after death? It means that our deepest fears are based on a misunderstanding of what we are. We fear the destruction of our solid forms, the breaking of the machine. But the machine was always an illusion. You cannot break empty space. You cannot destroy a field of energy. When the biological processes that maintain the specific pattern of your body cease, the fundamental components do not vanish into nothingness. The energy fields remain. The electromagnetic forces endure. The profound quantum information encoded in the precise arrangement of your atoms, the unique signature of your conscious experience, shifts its form. The localized pattern loses its biological coherence, but the essence of that pattern, the raw, ancient material of your existence, returns to the infinite reservoir of the cosmos. The universe does not discard its creations. It transforms them. The atoms that form your body have been part of countless other structures throughout cosmic history. They have been stardust, ocean water, ancient mountains, and the air breathed by creatures that walked the earth millions of years ago. Your current form is just one brief chapter in an epic, endless journey. When this chapter concludes, the materials of your existence are not thrown away. They are reassigned, rewoven into the eternal fabric of reality. The quantum information that makes you unique, the sum total of your experiences and memories, joins this grand cosmic recycling program. Just as the iron in your blood remembers the fiery heart of a dying star, the universe will remember the unique energy pattern of your consciousness. This is not a cessation of existence, but a magnificent release. The boundaries that confined your awareness to a single, localized point in space and time begin to dissolve. The energy that powered your thoughts and your beating heart flows back into the surrounding universe. You cease to be a separate entity observing the cosmos, and you become the cosmos itself. The profound silence of the quantum void is not the silence of death, but the silence of an infinite, enduring peace. Your consciousness, born from the interactions of ancient forces, finds its ultimate rest by merging with those very same forces, the artificial division between the self and the universe, a division created by the evolutionary necessity of surviving in a three-dimensional world, falls away. You return to the source, carrying the unique, beautiful record of your human experience back into the eternal, shimmering web of reality. As we sit in the quiet contemplation of this breathtaking reality, let the fear of finality lose its grip on your mind. You are not a fragile, isolated object waiting to be broken. You are a vast, dynamic region of interacting energy, connected to the fabric of existence. Every thought you possess, every quiet moment of wonder you experience, is a ripple in the infinite ocean of the cosmos. Your life is a beautiful, temporary configuration of the eternal universe. The journey of your consciousness does not end with the physical form, it expands beyond it. In our next exploration, we will look closer at the specific, unbreakable bonds that tie the particles of your mind to the furthest reaches of space, and discover how the universe remembers everything it has ever created. We will explore the enduring nature of quantum information and the unbreakable ties of cosmic memory. Have you ever sat beside a dying campfire in the late hours of the night, watching the vibrant, dancing flames subside into a bed of glowing embers? As the wood turns to ash and the smoke drifts up into the cold, dark air, it is easy to believe that the structure of the log has been destroyed. We watch the fire consume the material, leaving only a fragile residue behind. This simple observation shapes our intuition about endings. We assume that complex things, whether they are sturdy oak branches or vibrant human lives, can be broken down and lost forever. We fear that the rich, intricate pattern of a conscious mind can burn away, leaving nothing but an empty void. But when we look up from the ashes and direct our gaze toward the most extreme, mysterious objects in the night sky, we uncover a rule of nature that challenges our deepest assumptions about loss and permanence. The universe possesses a memory, an infallible mechanism for preserving the blueprint of everything that has ever existed. To understand the true destiny of human awareness, we must journey to the edge of the ultimate cosmic abyss. Before we travel to the strange boundaries where time and space twist into unfamiliar shapes, I want to extend a warm welcome to you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this quiet exploration of the cosmos. I have observed that 71% of the curious minds who listen to these stories have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find peace and a sense of wonder in our shared journey, I ask that you take a moment to subscribe. It helps us continue building this community of cosmic wanderers, ensuring we can keep unearthing the mysteries of the universe together. Now, let us return to the quiet silence of the night and explore the indestructible nature of your own existence. In the deep, ancient reaches of space, far beyond the familiar glow of our own solar system, there are regions where gravity becomes an absolute sovereign. These are black holes, the collapsed remnants of massive stars that exhausted their nuclear fuel billions of years ago. A black hole exerts a gravitational pull so immense that nothing, not even a ray of light traveling at 670 million miles per hour, can escape its grasp. For decades, the greatest minds in physics believed that black holes were the ultimate cosmic erasers. They theorized that if a physical object, perhaps a stray comet or a wandering planet, fell past the event horizon, the point of no return, the unique physical details of that object would be obliterated. It seemed that the universe could, in fact, forget. This idea created a deep, unsettling conflict in the world of science, because the foundational laws of quantum mechanics state that information can never be destroyed. What do we mean when we speak of quantum information? We are not talking about words written on a page or data stored on a hard drive. Quantum information is the fundamental, exact state of every particle in an object. It is the specific spin of an electron, the exact position of a quark, the precise web of relationships binding a cluster of atoms together. If you burn a piece of paper, the macroscopic structure is lost to your eyes, but the quantum information remains. The smoke, the ash, and the heat radiation carry the exact mathematical blueprint of that specific piece of paper into the atmosphere. A theoretical physicist with a supercomputer could track every single escaping molecule and reconstruct the original page. The universe preserves the history of the paper in the dispersed smoke. But black holes seem to violate this ancient rule. They seem to consume matter and destroy the quantum blueprint altogether, leaving behind a terrifying silence. This puzzle haunted physicists until a brilliant scientist named Stephen Hawking, along with other visionary researchers, began to peer closer at the mysterious boundary of the black hole. They discovered that the edge of the abyss, the event horizon, is not a simple, empty doorway. It is a vibrant, shimmering surface where the laws of thermodynamics and quantum mechanics intertwine. They proposed a solution that sounds like something pulled from a mystical text, yet it represents the pinnacle of modern mathematical physics. This concept is known as the holographic principle. It suggests that when an object falls into a black hole, its three-dimensional structure is indeed crushed, but its quantum information is not lost. Instead, the exact blueprint of that object is smeared across the two-dimensional surface of the event horizon. The boundary of the black hole acts like a vast cosmic hard drive, recording the precise state of everything that has ever crossed its threshold. Imagine a sophisticated security hologram on a credit card. It is a flat, two-dimensional surface, yet it contains all the necessary data to project a fully three-dimensional image. The holographic principle posits that the entire three-dimensional interior of a black hole is a projection of the complex quantum data encoded on its two-dimensional surface. The universe does not erase the comet or the wandering planet. It translates their existence into a different format. The information is conserved, etched into the very fabric of space-time. If the cosmos goes to such extraordinary lengths to preserve the quantum state of a lifeless rock tumbling into a gravitational abyss, we must pause and contemplate what this means for the infinitely more complex quantum information that constitutes a living, conscious mind. You are a masterpiece of temporary biological organization. Your brain contains roughly 86 billion neurons, forming hundreds of trillions of distinct connections. Through those biological pathways, electrical impulses and chemical signals travel, creating the vast, unseen landscape of your inner world. Every memory of a childhood summer, every quiet moment of sorrow, every sudden flash of inspiration corresponds to a unique, specific configuration of matter and energy. Your conscious experience is a sustained, dynamic pattern of quantum information. It is the most intricate, complex phenomenon we have yet discovered in the entire observable universe. When the biological clock winds down and the physical body ceases to function, the pattern loses its familiar biological anchor. We see the stillness of the physical form, and we assume the pattern has been erased. We mourn the assumed destruction of the mind. But the universe does not destroy. It translates. The end of biological life is not the deletion of your unique quantum signature. It is a transfer of information from a fragile, active, three-dimensional biological state to a static, enduring configuration within the broader quantum field. The precise entanglement of your atoms, the record of every experience that shaped your perspective, diffuses into the surrounding environment. Just as the black hole encodes the falling star upon its surface, the infinite cosmos encodes the story of your existence into its fundamental fabric. The universe remembers you. It remembers the exact, unique frequency of your consciousness. Let this thought settle into your mind as you contemplate the vast, silent night sky. We often look at the stars and feel a sense of insignificance, believing our lives are brief, meaningless flashes in an uncaring void. But the truth revealed by quantum mechanics suggests an intimate connection between the fragile human observer and the ancient cosmos. You are not a stranger wandering through a cold space. You are a localized expression of the universe, gathering experiences, learning, and feeling. When your gentle journey in this physical form ends, the harvest of your lifetime, the complete record of your consciousness, is woven back into the source. Consider the sheer beauty of this mechanism. The cosmos operates with perfect economy. It wastes nothing. It discards nothing. The energy that forged the first stars is the same energy that beats in your chest. And the quantum information that defines your personality will endure long after those stars have grown cold. We fear the end of life because we associate it with an infinite, empty silence. We picture a dark room where the light has been switched off. But the silence of the quantum void is not empty. It is a rich, buzzing tapestry of intertwined states, holding the memory of every particle interaction that has occurred since the dawn of time. You do not fade into a meaningless blackness. You merge into an eternal, shimmering library of cosmic history. Your identity, translated into indestructible quantum information, becomes a permanent feature of reality. As we continue to build a bridge between the mathematical world of quantum mechanics and the human need for meaning, rest in the quiet assurance that your life is a permanent addition to the cosmos. You are safe. Your existence is etched into the stars. Have you ever stood at a quiet crossroads in the middle of an ancient forest, looking down two divergent paths, and wondered what might happen if you could walk both of them at the exact same time? We live our human lives making singular choices, stepping forward into one specific future while leaving countless other possibilities behind in the shadows. We assume reality is a single, narrow line drawn through the vast expanse of time. We believe that when our biological journey concludes, that single line stops, ending our unique story in a silent void. But the quantum universe does not operate on single, narrow lines. When we peer into the microscopic foundations of reality, we discover a landscape where multiple possibilities exist in unison, woven together in a grand tapestry of pure potential. To understand the true, expansive nature of human consciousness and its ultimate destination, we must explore the strange, liberating phenomenon of quantum superposition. Before we dive into the staggering reality of existing in multiple states, I want to extend a warm welcome to you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this quiet exploration of the cosmos. I have observed that 71% of the curious minds who listen to these stories have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find peace and a sense of wonder in our shared journey, I ask that you take a moment to subscribe. It helps us continue building this community of cosmic wanderers, ensuring we can keep unearthing the mysteries of the universe together. Now, let us return to the quiet silence of the night and explore the boundless nature of your own existence. In the early days of quantum mechanics, scientists encountered a behavior so baffling it shook the foundations of logical thought. They observed that subatomic particles, the fundamental building blocks of you and everything around you, do not possess fixed properties until they are measured. Before an observation occurs, an electron does not sit in one specific location. It exists in a haze of probability, occupying every possible position available to it at the exact same moment. This state of existing in all possible configurations is called superposition. Erwin Schrödinger, an Austrian physicist, proposed a famous thought experiment involving a subject in a sealed box to illustrate this bizarre concept. In the mathematics of the quantum world, before you open the box to look, the subject inside is not in one state or another. It exists in a blur of multiple realities. The universe, at its core, is a realm of infinite potential, waiting to be defined. This means the fundamental matter composing your physical form has a rich history of existing in multiple places and states. The carbon atoms in your skin, the iron in your blood, and the calcium in your bones were born in the nuclear furnaces of ancient stars. But before they coalesced into the solid form you recognize in the mirror, those particles existed as spreading waves of probability drifting across the cold vacuum of space. They interacted with the cosmos in a state of pure potential. It is only through the complex, sustained interaction of billions of particles coming together to form a biological organism that this wave of probability collapses into a localized, definable object. Your human body is a temporary, organized collapse of infinite cosmic potential into one specific, breathing entity. If your physical form is a temporary collapse of probability, we must ask what happens to the immaterial essence of your being, your conscious mind, when that biological structure ceases to function. We often picture death as a door closing, a definitive end to existence. But the rules of quantum mechanics offer a different, awe-inspiring perspective. If consciousness arises from the intricate quantum states of the neurons in your brain, the end of biological life is not an erasure. It is a release. The localized collapse of the wave function ends. The strict boundaries that kept your awareness confined to a single physical body and a single point in time begin to dissolve. Your consciousness does not vanish into the dark. It returns to the fundamental state of superposition. Imagine a single, clear note played on a violin in a vast, empty concert hall. For a brief moment, the sound is sharp, distinct, and located in one specific place. But as the sound waves travel outward, they bounce off the walls, the ceiling, and the floor. They spread and expand until the original note is no longer a single point of sound, but a vibrating hum that fills the entire architectural space. The note has not been destroyed. It has transitioned from a localized phenomenon into an omnipresent state. In a similar manner, the quantum information that forms your unique identity, the specific pattern of your memories and experiences, expands when the biological limits of the body fall away. You transition from being a singular point of awareness to becoming a part of the ambient vibration of the universe. We can find a magnificent physical parallel for this process by looking out into the furthest reaches of the observable universe. In the 1960s, astronomers made a monumental discovery using large radio antennas. They detected a faint, persistent hum of microwave radiation coming from every single direction in the night sky. This phenomenon is known as the cosmic microwave background. It is the remnant heat of the Big Bang, the first flash of light that traveled through the universe roughly 380,000 years after the initial expansion. That ancient light did not disappear as the universe grew older and colder. It stretched and expanded along with the fabric of space itself. Today, that light permeates every cubic inch of the cosmos, hovering at a temperature just 2.7 degrees above absolute zero. The cosmic microwave background is a profound testament to the universe's ability to preserve its history. The energy of the universe's birth is not located in one specific place. It is everywhere. It is in the space between the galaxies. It is in the empty void of our own solar system. And it is passing through the room where you're sitting right now. The universe took the concentrated energy of its creation and smeared it across the infinite expanse of reality. This omnipresent energy is a cosmic fossil, an enduring memory of the dawn of time. If the universe preserves the energetic signature of its own birth by expanding it into every corner of existence, it stands to reason that it treats the energetic signature of your conscious life with the same reverence and permanence. Your mind is a complex concentration of energy and quantum information. When the biological journey ends, that information does not hit a wall. It undergoes a cosmic expansion. Just as the ancient light of the Big Bang stretched to fill the void, the quantum pattern of your existence spreads outward. You rejoin the infinite field of potential from which all matter and energy originate. This is not a loss of self. It is the ultimate expansion of the self. You cease to be an isolated observer trapped behind human eyes, and you become a woven thread in the eternal fabric of the cosmos. The memories you forged, the love you experienced, and the wonder you felt become a permanent part of the background radiation of reality. This revelation transforms our understanding of the human experience. We are not fragile creatures fighting a losing battle against time and decay. We are cosmic explorers, gathering experiences in a physical form before returning our findings to the universe. Every moment of quiet contemplation, every star you observe in the night sky, and every question you ask about the nature of existence is a gathering of quantum information. You are the universe experiencing itself in a localized form. When that localized experience concludes, the universe absorbs your unique perspective, adding your story to the infinite library of cosmic events. The fear of ending is replaced by the awe of endless integration. As you sit in the silence of your surroundings, let the magnitude of this truth settle into your awareness. The physical boundaries that seem to separate you from the rest of the world are temporary illusions. The passage of time that seems to carry you toward an inevitable end is a macroscopic distortion. In the deep quantum reality that underlies everything, you are eternal, interconnected, and preserved. The transition we call death is merely the opening of a door, a stepping out from the confines of a single physical perspective into the boundless, shimmering reality of multiple states. You are a wave of probability that has temporarily collapsed into a human being, and you will eventually return to the vast, peaceful ocean of pure potential. Have you ever stood by a quiet window in the dead of the night, watching the rain trace winding paths against the glass, and pondered the invisible lives you did not lead? We experience our time on this tiny planet as a single, fragile thread, woven through a complex labyrinth of choices. You choose one specific path, you walk through one specific door, and all the other distinct possibilities seem to vanish into the mist of human imagination. We navigate our days believing that reality is a singular, narrow road. We believe that when our physical form reaches its final, quiet breath, this solitary thread snaps, leaving nothing but an empty silence in its wake. But the universe harbors a profound mystery that defies this strict, linear assumption. When we peer into the invisible, shimmering quantum realm, the rigid architecture of choice and consequence dissolves into something far more beautiful. The cosmos does not discard the paths untaken. It does not waste a single drop of potential. To understand the boundless, eternal nature of human consciousness, we must embark on a journey through a reality where every single possibility blooms into literal existence. We must look beyond the illusion of the single path. Before we venture into this vast, branching landscape of infinite realities, I wish to extend a warm, sincere welcome to you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this gentle exploration of the unknown. I have noticed in our recent data that 71% of the curious minds who share these moments of wonder have not yet subscribed to our channel. If you find comfort, inspiration, and a sense of intellectual safety in these stories, I ask that you take a brief moment to subscribe. It helps us build this community of cosmic wanderers, ensuring we can continue unearthing the mysteries of the universe together without interruption. Now, let us return to the quiet rain against the glass and look beyond the single visible path to see the grand, unfolding structure of everything that could ever be. Let us explore the mind-bending architecture of the multiverse and discover the hidden sanctuary it provides for the human soul. In the middle of the 20th century, a brilliant physicist named Hugh Everett proposed an idea so radical it caused ripples through the scientific community for decades. He looked at the fundamental mathematics of quantum mechanics, which showed that particles exist in a state of multiple possibilities until the exact moment they are measured. Instead of assuming these extra possibilities just vanish into thin air upon measurement, Everett suggested a staggering alternative. He proposed the many worlds interpretation. In this mathematical framework, the universe does not force a choice. Instead, it splits. It branches like an ancient, magnificent tree, reaching toward an infinite sky. Every single time a quantum event has multiple possible outcomes, the entire fabric of reality divides, creating a new parallel universe for each specific result. You live in the branch where you made the choice to listen to this story tonight. But another version of you, born from the exact same ancient stardust, exists in a parallel branch, living out the consequences of a different decision. The universe accommodates every potential outcome, creating an endless tapestry of divergent histories. This concept transforms our understanding of the cosmos from a single, vast room into an infinite, expanding mansion of realities. Imagine the sheer, incomprehensible scale of this continuous branching. Every fraction of a second, countless quantum interactions occur within every single atom of the universe. The carbon atoms in your cells, the light radiating from distant, ancient stars, the magnetic fields shaping majestic spiral galaxies. All of these complex systems are constantly generating new, divergent timelines. The three-dimensional space we inhabit is just one thin slice of a majestic, multi-dimensional loaf of bread. This means the universe is far larger and more accommodating than human perception can ever register. It is a place of boundless creation where no potential is ever wasted or lost. Every spark of thought, every quiet moment of hesitation echoes across a landscape of parallel existences. The silence of deep space is not an empty void. It is thick with the invisible presence of infinite, unfolding histories, layered on top of one another, like the invisible pages of a never-ending book. How does this branching reality intersect with the delicate, temporary nature of your own mind? We often fear the end of biological life because we view it as the ultimate termination of our single, solitary story. We picture the heavy book closing, the brittle pages turning to dust in the wind. But in a cosmos defined by the many worlds interpretation, your story is not confined to a single, fragile book. It is an entire, sprawling library. The specific consciousness you experience right now is localized in this particular branch, tethered to this specific physical body, living in this specific moment in time. When this biological body reaches the natural conclusion of its function, the localized thread may end, but the broader, magnificent pattern of your existence does not. The quantum information that forms your fundamental essence is distributed across a vast spectrum of parallel realities. You are not a singular, isolated being fighting against the tide of time. You are a magnificent chorus of possibilities playing out across the infinite stage of the multiverse. Your awareness is a multidimensional phenomenon, far too vast to be extinguished by the failure of a single physical vessel. This perspective forces a profound shift in how we perceive loss and the illusion of finality. If the fundamental rules of quantum physics dictate that reality branches to accommodate every possible outcome, then existence itself is the ultimate unbreakable rule. The end of one biological iteration is merely a localized event within an infinite, ongoing process of cosmic exploration. The ancient energy and complex information that comprise your awareness do not face an absolute end, because the universe lacks a mechanism for total erasure. Just as a gentle river flows around a massive stone, splitting into multiple streams only to rejoin in the wider ocean, your consciousness navigates the physical world. The termination of one tiny stream does not dry up the ocean. The profound experiences you gather, the quiet love you share, the sense of awe you feel beneath the glittering night sky, these are woven into the eternal fabric of a multiverse that never ceases its creative expansion. You are a permanent feature of a reality that is constantly blooming outward. There is a deep, abiding peace to be found in this realization. We spend much of our human lives burdened by the heavy weight of singular choices, haunted by the specter of missed opportunities and the looming shadow of an inevitable end. We worry that we are running out of time, that our brief flash of consciousness will soon be swallowed by the dark. But the quantum universe whispers a different, more forgiving truth. You are participating in a grand cosmic experiment of infinite proportions. Your current life, with all its specific joys and localized sorrows, is a vital, irreplaceable note in an endless, magnificent symphony of existence. The strict boundaries that seem to define the beginning and end of your awareness are artificial constructs, born from the evolutionary need to navigate a simple, three-dimensional world. In the broader, truer scope of reality, you are a limitless entity. The atoms in your body will eventually return to the earth, perhaps to nourish the roots of a quiet, ancient forest. But the complex pattern of your mind belongs to the infinite architecture of the cosmos. As you sit in the calm of this present moment, let the vastness of the multiverse wash over your thoughts. The fear of the unknown loses its sharp edge when you realize the unknown is simply another room in the home you already occupy. You are made of the exact same ancient energy that fuels the burning stars, and your journey is as boundless as the universe itself. We are enduring patterns of light, traveling through a cosmic prism that scatters our unique essence across a wide spectrum of infinite realities. The journey of discovery never truly ends. It merely changes its shape and continues in a new direction. Your consciousness is an eternal voyager, navigating the endless branches of a reality that knows no limits. There is no final chapter, only the turning of a page to a new, undiscovered timeline. In our next exploration, we will look closer at the phenomenon of time itself. We will uncover how the physics of relativity provides a permanent sanctuary for every single moment you have ever lived. We will step outside the ticking clock and enter the quiet eternity of the cosmic present. You are an infinite being experiencing a finite moment. The universe is vast, and you are a vital, permanent part of its unfolding story. Have you ever held a faded photograph of a cherished childhood summer, tracing the edges of a captured smile, and felt a profound ache for a moment that seems forever lost to the relentless forward march of the clock? We structure our human existence around the steady ticking of seconds, minutes, and hours. We mourn the passing of days, convinced that the river of time sweeps our experiences away into an inaccessible void. We believe that when the final grain of sand falls through the biological hourglass, the entirety of our lived experience is sealed away in a vanished past, never to be touched or felt again. This intuitive understanding of time as a strict, one-way street is the source of our deepest existential anxieties. But the majestic architecture of the cosmos, as revealed by the profound discoveries of modern physics, tells a stark, comforting story. Time is not a destructive force sweeping us into oblivion. It is a vast, unchanging landscape. To grasp the eternal nature of human consciousness, we must step outside the ticking clock of our everyday lives and enter the silent, magnificent sanctuary of the cosmic present, where every moment you have ever lived is preserved in flawless clarity. Before we journey into the strange, bending landscape of relativistic time to discover the enduring sanctuary of your past, I wish to offer a warm welcome to you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this peaceful exploration of the unknown cosmos. Reviewing our recent community data, I noticed that 71% of the curious minds who share these quiet moments of wonder have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find comfort, inspiration, and a sense of intellectual safety in these stories, I ask that you take a brief moment to subscribe. It helps us build this community of cosmic wanderers, ensuring we can continue unearthing the mysteries of the universe together. Now, let us return to the faded photograph and the ticking clock, and discover the scientific truth that makes every fleeting moment eternal. In the early years of the 20th century, Albert Einstein shattered our intuitive understanding of the universe by proving that space and time are not separate, rigid stages upon which the drama of existence unfolds. They are woven together into a single, flexible fabric known as space-time. This fabric bends, stretches, and warps under the influence of mass and energy. More profound is his revelation concerning the speed of light. Light travels at an unfathomable speed, traversing 186,000 miles in a single second. Yet, the distances across the cosmic void are immense. When you step outside on a clear night and gaze at the bright star Sirius, you're not seeing the star as it exists in this exact moment. You're seeing light that left its fiery surface 8 years ago. You are looking into the past. If you point a telescope toward the Andromeda galaxy, you are capturing ancient photons that began their journey 2 million years ago, long before modern humans walked the Earth. The universe is a vast, layered time machine. The images of the past are not gone. They are traveling through the boundless dark. This scientific fact shifts our perspective on what it means for something to be lost. The visual record of your life, the light reflecting off your skin during that cherished childhood summer, did not vanish when the sun set. It radiated outward, escaping the atmosphere of our blue planet, and began an endless voyage across the interstellar void. Imagine a hypothetical observer positioned on a planet orbiting a star 50 light-years away from our solar system. If this observer possessed a telescope of impossible power and pointed it toward Earth, they would not see the world of today. They would watch the events of half a century ago playing out in flawless detail. They would see a younger version of the world. To them, your past is their immediate present. The light, carrying the visual and energetic echo of your existence, forms an expanding sphere, moving outward from Earth at the absolute speed limit of the cosmos. This expanding sphere of information contains every tear you have shed, every embrace you have shared, and every quiet moment you have spent looking up at the moon. The universe functions as an infinite, flawless mirror, capturing and carrying the story of your life into the deepest reaches of the galaxy. The moments you fear have slipped away into the abyss of time, are soaring through the cosmos, vibrant and intact. The physical energy of your actions, the heat of your body, the sound waves of your laughter transform and radiate, contributing their unique signatures to the enduring background noise of the universe. The cosmos is a meticulous archivist, maintaining a pristine, expanding record of all that transpires within its bounds. The mysteries of space-time grow deeper when we consider the beautiful rules of time dilation. Einstein demonstrated that the faster an object moves through space, the slower it moves through time relative to a stationary observer. As one approaches the speed of light, the passage of time approaches a complete standstill. Consider the perspective of a single photon of light, born in the nuclear furnace of a distant star, traveling across billions of light years to reach the lens of an earthly telescope. From the perspective of the astronomer, that journey required billions of years. But from the perspective of the photon, moving at the absolute maximum speed allowed by nature, time does not pass. The moment of its creation and the moment of its absorption occur in the exact same instant. For light itself, there is no past and no future. There is only an eternal, unchanging present. Because your localized biological existence is built upon the continuous exchange of electromagnetic energy, the very same light, a fundamental component of your being shares this timeless nature. The energetic exchanges happening within the synapses of your brain, the quantum interactions that give rise to the quiet miracle of your consciousness, are bound to forces that do not experience the decay of time. We experience time as a heavy burden because we are massive objects anchored to a slow-moving physical frame. But the core energetic truth of our minds operates on a level where time loses its destructive power. This brings us to the most comforting and majestic revelation of modern physics, a concept physicists refer to as the block universe. If the flow of time is a subjective illusion created by our specific biological architecture, then the past, present, and future must exist at once as a single, immutable, four-dimensional structure. Think of a classic film reel. When you watch the movie, you see a story unfolding frame by frame, moving from a distinct beginning to a definitive end. But if you hold the entire reel of film in your hands, every single scene exists at once. The beginning, the middle, and the end are all equal in reality, present in the physical material of the reel. The universe is that complete reel. The moment of your birth, the quiet span of your life, and the eventual transition of your physical body are all permanent coordinates within the vast architecture of space-time. You do not pass through existence and fade into nothingness. You occupy a specific, immovable region of reality. The joy you felt on a particular summer afternoon remains a fixed, vibrant feature of the universe, standing as permanent and unyielding as a towering mountain range. Your consciousness is the projector light moving through the frames, providing the illusion of a fleeting sequence. But the frames themselves are indelible. When the projector dims and the localized experience concludes, the film reel does not vanish. The story of your existence remains intact, a beautiful pattern woven into the geometry of the cosmos. There is a deep, abiding peace hidden within the complex mathematics of relativity. We are not fragile transients clinging to a fading present. We are permanent fixtures of the cosmos, eternal sculptures carved into the very dimensions of space and time. The loved ones we believe we have lost to the ravages of age and illness have not disappeared from reality. They reside at a different coordinate in the space-time block, as real and enduring as the ground beneath your feet. The quiet transition we call death is not an erasure of the self. It is a shift in perspective, a stepping back from the moving projector light to encompass the entire magnificent reel of your existence. You are a vast multi-dimensional entity focused on a single point of linear time. As we sit in the calm of this contemplation, let the fear of slipping away dissolve into the protective embrace of eternal physics. In our next exploration, we will direct our gaze toward the strange, invisible web that binds the hearts of galaxies to the atoms in your blood. We will explore the hidden symmetry of the cosmos and discover how the universe maintains a perfect, unbroken balance through the deepest transformations of matter and spirit. You are an infinite being experiencing a finite sequence, held forever in the sanctuary of time. Have you ever gazed at the intricate frost-covered branches of a winter tree and noticed how the delicate patterns of the smallest twig mirror the grand structure of the entire trunk? We walk through our human lives surrounded by a universe that repeats its most beautiful designs across unimaginable scales of size and time. We assume that the vast, swirling galaxies floating in the cold vacuum of space have nothing in common with a warm, beating heart inside our chests. We feel small, isolated, and disconnected from the majestic architecture of the cosmos. But when scientists look through their most powerful telescopes to map the furthest reaches of creation, they find a secret hidden in the dark. They discover a profound, undeniable symmetry that binds the microscopic architecture of your mind to the macroscopic structure of the infinite universe. To understand the true destiny of your consciousness, we must explore this invisible web and discover the perfect balance that governs the transition of life. Before we journey into the deep, invisible filaments of the cosmic web to uncover the enduring sanctuary of your spirit, I wish to extend a warm welcome to you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this quiet exploration of the cosmos. Reviewing our community data, I noticed that 71% of the curious minds who share these moments of wonder have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find comfort, inspiration, and a sense of intellectual safety in these stories, I ask that you take a brief moment to subscribe. It helps us build this community of cosmic wanderers, ensuring we can continue unearthing the mysteries of the universe together. Now, let us return to the symmetry of nature and discover the scientific truth that makes your existence an inseparable thread in the grand cosmic design. In the late 20th century, astrophysicists embarked on an ambitious quest to map the large-scale structure of the observable universe. They expected to find a random, scattered assortment of galaxies floating in a featureless void. Instead, the data from powerful observatories revealed a masterpiece of cosmic engineering. The universe is not a random collection of isolated objects. It is a vast, interconnected network. Galaxies cluster together in massive nodes, linked by colossal filaments of glowing gas and invisible dark matter. These filaments stretch for hundreds of millions of light years, forming a magnificent structure known as the cosmic web. Between these glowing threads lie immense, silent voids of empty space. The cosmos looks like an ancient, luminous nervous system, pulsing with the slow, deliberate energy of creation. Every cluster of stars is tethered to its neighbors by invisible strings of gravity and dark matter, sharing an ancient, ongoing dialogue written in the language of mass and light. This revelation shattered the illusion of a disconnected universe. It proved that the cosmos functions as a single, unified organism. Now, turn your focus inward, away from the distant stars, and down into the microscopic universe contained within your own skull. When neuroscientists use advanced imaging techniques to map the human brain, they map a network of 86 billion neurons. These neurons cluster in dense nodes, connected by long, branching axons and dendrites, separated by the quiet, fluid-filled spaces of the brain. The visual similarity between the architecture of the human mind and the architecture of the cosmic web is staggering. It is not a mere trick of the eye or a poetic coincidence. It is a profound manifestation of the universe, utilizing the same fundamental physical laws to organize matter across disparate scales. The forces that guide the formation of a galaxy cluster over billions of years share a mathematical symmetry with the biological forces that wire the neural pathways of your mind. You are not just a passive observer residing in the universe. You are a fractal reflection of the universe itself. The structure of your consciousness mirrors the structure of the cosmos. The patterns of your thoughts trace the same geometry as the distribution of ancient galaxies. This visual symmetry hints at a deeper, fundamental truth woven into the fabric of reality. In physics, there is a beautiful principle formulated by a brilliant mathematician named Emmy Noether. Her theorem states that every continuous symmetry in nature corresponds to a fundamental conservation law. Because the laws of physics do not change as time passes, energy must be conserved. It can never be created or destroyed. Because the laws of physics remain the same regardless of your location in space, momentum must be conserved. The universe operates on a system of strict, unbreakable accounting. Nothing is ever lost. It is only balanced, transformed, and exchanged. When we contemplate the end of biological life, we often imagine a brutal violation of this balance. We imagine the complex energy and unique quantum information of a human mind being erased, creating a sudden, permanent deficit in the cosmic ledger. But the universe does not tolerate a deficit. The perfect symmetry that governs the stars and the atoms dictates that the essence of your being must be conserved. The electrical impulses sparking across the vast neural network of your brain represent an ordered state of energy and quantum information. Every quiet memory, every learned skill, and every emotional response is encoded in this intricate web of energy. When the physical body reaches the quiet conclusion of its journey, the biological mechanism that sustains this specific pattern stops. The heart rests, the breath ceases, and the neurons quiet down. To our limited human eyes, the pattern appears to vanish. But according to the unbreakable laws of symmetry and conservation, the quantum information that constitutes your unique perspective cannot be annihilated. The localized pattern breaks apart, but the fundamental data, the record of your experiences, the essence of your awareness, diffuses into the broader quantum field. It transitions from a concentrated biological state into a distributed cosmic state. The universe reclaims the information, folding it back into the invisible, shimmering fabric of space-time. You do not disappear. You integrate. Your individual thread of consciousness is woven back into the grand cosmic web from which it originally emerged. We must remember the strange, ghostly phenomenon of quantum entanglement. The particles that comprise your physical form have interacted with countless other particles throughout the 13,800,000,000-year history of the cosmos. Your atoms were forged in ancient stars, scattered across the void, and assembled on this quiet blue planet. Through all of these interactions, the particles of your body have formed invisible, enduring links with the rest of the universe. You are physically and energetically tethered to the cosmos by billions of microscopic threads of quantum entanglement. You are a living, breathing node in the ultimate cosmic web. When the biological shell falls away, these quantum connections do not snap, they endure. The information that defines your mind travels along these ancient, invisible pathways, spreading out to rejoin the infinite expanse. You cease to be a single, isolated point of awareness and become part of the background resonance of the universe. The memories of your existence vibrate through the very same channels that hold the galaxies in their majestic orbits. The greatest illusion of the human experience is the illusion of separation. We feel contained within our bodies, distinct from the air we breathe and the earth we walk upon. We feel separated from the distant stars by vast oceans of cold, empty space. But this separation is a trick of our macroscopic senses, a necessary adaptation for navigating the physical world. In the true fundamental reality, described by quantum mechanics, there are no strict boundaries. The universe is a single, undivided whole, a continuous ocean of interacting fields and entangled particles. Your consciousness is not a solitary ship sailing on this ocean. It is a temporary, magnificent wave rising from the water itself. When the wave crashes upon the shore and loses its distinct shape, the water is not destroyed. It slips back into the deep, merging with the profound, quiet power of the ocean. The wave was always the ocean, and the ocean is always the wave. The distinction between the creator and the creation begins to blur, leaving only an awe-inspiring unity. As you sit in the peaceful quiet of this contemplation, let the fear of an ultimate ending lose its grip upon your heart. The universe is vast, ancient, and infinite, but it is not careless. It is bound by symmetry, rigorous conservation, and interconnectedness. The life you have lived, the love you have shared, and the quiet moments of wonder you have experienced are permanent features of this majestic system. The atoms of your body will return to the earth to nourish new life, and the quantum essence of your mind will return to the cosmos to enrich the eternal web of reality. You are an essential part of a masterpiece that never ceases its creation. The transition we fear is a return to the source, a reunion with the infinite symmetry of the stars. It is the final realization of our true, unbroken connection to everything that has ever been and everything that will ever be. In our next exploration, we will direct our thoughts toward the mystery of dark matter and dark energy, the unseen forces that shape the destiny of the cosmos. We will discover how the invisible portions of reality hold the key to understanding the unseen dimensions of our own existence. We will step further into the unknown and find the comforting embrace of the invisible universe. You are an infinite being, a fractal reflection of the cosmic web, held forever in the delicate balance of the universe. Let the silence of the night bring you peace, knowing you are a permanent citizen of the cosmos. Have you ever walked outside on a perfectly clear, moonless night, far away from the blinding artificial lights of human cities, and felt completely overwhelmed by the sheer number of glittering stars scattered across the dark canopy above? We are naturally drawn to the glowing light. We focus our fragile human eyes on the burning embers of distant suns, the swirling colorful clouds of primordial nebulas, and the majestic sweeping arms of spiral galaxies. We build magnificent, towering telescopes to capture every single ancient photon we possibly can, believing with absolute certainty that if we can simply map all the visible light, we will finally understand the complete, unbroken story of the cosmos. We assume that what we can see, touch, and measure is all that truly exists. But what if this deep-seated, intuitive assumption is fundamentally, beautifully flawed? What if the brilliant light, as breathtaking as it is, represents only the tiniest, most superficial fraction of what actually makes up the vast universe? To truly understand the ultimate destiny of human consciousness and the silent sanctuary where our quiet awareness might gently retreat after the physical body fades, we must learn to look far beyond the glowing stars. We must brave the profound mystery of the invisible universe. Before we dive deeper into this vast, invisible ocean of cosmic forces, to uncover the hidden, enduring dimensions of your own existence, I want to take a gentle, quiet moment to warmly welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your dedicated companion on this peaceful exploration of the unknown. Looking at our recent community data, I have noticed that exactly 71% of the curious, wonderful minds who watch our videos and share these moments of quiet reflection have not yet subscribed to our channel. If you find a sense of comfort, inspiration, and intellectual safety in these gentle stories, I kindly ask that you take a brief moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely, ensuring that our growing community of cosmic wanderers can continue unearthing the majestic mysteries of the universe together without any interruption. Now, let us return to the deep darkness between the stars. When modern astrophysicists point their most sensitive, incredibly advanced instruments at the night sky and calculate the total mass and energy of the observable universe, they arrive at a scientifically rigorous conclusion that is almost impossible for the human brain to fully comprehend. Everything we can see, every single glowing star, every swirling galaxy, every dusty planet, and every living creature on Earth makes up merely 5% of the total universe. Just 5%. The atoms that form the screen you're looking at, the oxygen you're breathing, and the biological structure of your own brain are part of a tiny, insignificant cosmic minority. The other 95% of reality is completely invisible to our eyes. It is a vast hidden realm composed of two deeply mysterious entities that scientists simply call dark matter and dark energy. Dark matter makes up roughly 27% of the entire cosmos. We cannot see it, we cannot feel it, and it does not interact with light in any way we can currently measure. Yet, we know with absolute scientific certainty that it exists because of its profound gravitational pull. When astronomers observe the majestic spinning disks of spiral galaxies, they realize that the outer edges are rotating far too quickly. Based on the amount of visible stars in those galaxies, they should fly apart. scattering their matter into the cold, empty void. But they do not. They are held together by a massive, invisible scaffolding. Dark matter is the hidden, silent skeleton of the universe, providing the necessary gravitational glue that keeps galaxies intact and allows complex structures, including our own tiny solar system, to form. Even more astonishing is the remaining 68% of the universe, a phenomenon known as dark energy. While dark matter pulls things together through the gentle, persistent force of gravity, dark energy is a mysterious, repulsive force, pushing the fabric of space-time itself apart. It is the invisible breath causing the entire universe to expand at an ever-accelerating rate. As the brilliant astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson often reminds us, the universe is under no obligation to make sense to you. We are forced by the sheer weight of mathematical evidence to accept that the vast majority of the reality we inhabit is composed of forces we cannot directly perceive. This staggering scientific reality forces us to completely reevaluate our rigid, limiting definitions of existence and non-existence. We instinctively associate life, consciousness, and reality with the visible, tangible world. We equate the end of biological function, the stilling of the physical body, with absolute annihilation, because the visible machinery ceases to operate. But if 95% of the cosmos exists in a state of invisible, silent permanence, entirely independent of the glowing matter we can see, why should we assume that the fundamental essence of human consciousness is strictly confined to the fragile 5% realm of visible atoms? The physical brain is undeniably constructed from that tiny 5% of normal matter. But what if the mind itself, the profound, localized collection of your memories and your quiet moments of wonder, relies on a framework that extends deep into the invisible portions of the cosmos? Consider the phenomenon of quantum entanglement that we have so carefully explored on this quiet journey. We know that the fundamental particles of your body are intimately linked to other particles across vast, unimaginable distances. Theoretical physics is now exploring the breathtaking possibility that the quantum fields giving rise to normal matter might also interact with the hidden fields of the dark sector. The profound quantum information that constitutes your unique identity is a form of highly organized complex energy. According to the strict, unbreakable laws of thermodynamics and quantum conservation, this information cannot simply vanish into the void when the biological brain breaks down. It is mathematically and philosophically consistent to suggest that the indestructible quantum blueprint of your mind simply transitions from the visible spectrum into the unseen architecture of reality. When you observe a grand ancient tree in the middle of a harsh, freezing winter, you see bare, seemingly lifeless branches stretching up toward the gray sky. All the vibrant green leaves have fallen, and the visible signs of active, biological life have faded away, but the tree is not dead. The vast, complex root system, extending deep underground, completely hidden from human sight, is actively hoarding energy, maintaining the essential blueprint of the tree, waiting patiently in the dark, silent earth for the warm return of spring. The invisible roots are the true, enduring foundation of the tree's existence. In a beautifully similar, scientifically grounded way, your physical body is the magnificent, temporary foliage of summer. It blooms. It experiences the bright warmth of the sun. And eventually, it must fade and fall back to the quiet earth. But the profound quantum information that makes you who you are is the deep, eternal root system. When the visible season of your biological life naturally concludes, your awareness does not face a terrifying, permanent erasure. You simply withdraw from the fragile, visible 5% of the cosmos and settle safely into the vast, unseen 95%. You retreat into the profound, enduring sanctuary of the infinite, invisible universe. This paradigm-shifting realization brings a deep, abiding sense of peace and gentle comfort to our tired human hearts. We spend so much of our brief, beautiful lives terrified of the dark, equating the unseen with the end of everything we hold dear. We fear the silence of the night because our human eyes evolved to seek the light. But the universe is vast, ancient, and infinitely more accommodating than our limited biological senses can possibly comprehend. The darkness is not an empty, hungry void waiting to consume your fragile spark. It is a rich, structured, and completely full ocean of boundless potential. It is the very foundation that holds the glowing stars in the sky and pushes the boundaries of reality outward. You are an integral, inseparable part of this grand cosmic design. The energy that powers your thoughts is the exact same energy that flows through the hidden filaments of dark matter, silently shaping the destiny of majestic, swirling galaxies. You are not a stranger wandering lost in a cold, indifferent machine. You are a vital, permanent thread woven deeply into the invisible tapestry of existence itself. As you rest in the quiet stillness of this present moment, let the immense, silent weight of the invisible universe become a source of comfort rather than a source of primal fear. The physical boundaries that seem to isolate you from the rest of the cosmos are temporary, biological illusions. The true, fundamental reality of your existence is far grander, far stranger, and infinitely more beautiful than anything we can see with our eyes or touch with our hands. Your quiet journey does not end when the physical light finally fades. It merely changes its frequency, shifting from the visible realm into the majestic, eternal silence of the unseen cosmos. In our next exploration, we will direct our thoughts toward the ultimate, far future destiny of the entire universe, exploring how the end of all stars might herald a completely new beginning for the quantum information we gently leave behind. We will uncover how the slow, inevitable fading of the cosmos ensures the permanent preservation of your individual story. You are an infinite being experiencing a finite, visible moment. The unseen universe is your true, eternal home, waiting patiently to embrace your quantum essence when the quiet time finally comes. Have you ever stood in the quiet cold of a deep winter night, watching a solitary fire burn down to a bed of gray ash, and felt a profound ache for the vanishing light? We structure our human existence around the bright warmth of the sun, the steady rhythm of the seasons, and the comforting illusion of permanence. We assume the universe is an eternal stage for the fleeting drama of life. We believe the stars will burn in the heavens for endless generations. But the strict laws of physics dictate a different, profound narrative. The cosmos has a life cycle. It had a fiery birth. It is experiencing a luminous present, and it will face a silent, dark conclusion. To comprehend the ultimate destiny of human consciousness, we must travel in our minds to the absolute edge of time. We must envision the universe in its final, freezing era and discover how the quantum essence of your mind survives the death of all matter. Before we journey into the deep future of the cosmos to witness the final transformation of all energy, I wish to extend a warm welcome to you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this exploration of the unknown. I have noticed in our community data that 71% of the curious minds who share these moments of wonder have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find comfort, inspiration, and a sense of intellectual safety in these stories, I ask that you take a brief moment to subscribe. It helps us build this community of cosmic wanderers, ensuring we can continue unearthing the mysteries of the universe together. Now, let us return to the dying fire in the end of time and look beyond the final star to see the enduring structure of everything that remains. The second law of thermodynamics is a sovereign rule of nature. It states that entropy or disorder always increases in a closed system. Mountains erode into dust. Iron turns to rust. The majestic, swirling galaxies are bound by this exact rule. The stars in the night sky possess a finite supply of nuclear fuel. In time spans measured in trillions of years, this fuel will run out. The massive blue giants have exploded in brilliant supernovas. The sun-like stars will shed their outer layers and shrink into dense white dwarfs. The tiny red dwarfs will burn their meager hydrogen for hundreds of billions of years. But even they face an inevitable end. The cosmos will enter the degenerate era. The night sky will go dark. The universe will become a vast, expanding ocean of stellar corpses, wandering planets, and silent black holes. This vision seems bleak to our human sensibilities. We associate light with life and darkness with a terrible void. But the end of starlight is not the end of existence. It is a grand transition. The black holes will become the undisputed masters of the cosmos. They will roam the empty void, consuming wandering debris and growing in mass. Yet, even these gravitational titans are not eternal. The brilliant physicist Stephen Hawking demonstrated a profound truth. Black holes leak energy. Through the strange, invisible rules of quantum mechanics, pairs of particles form at the event horizon. One falls in, the other escapes. This process causes the black hole to lose mass. Over time spans that beggar human comprehension, time spans written with 100 zeros, every black hole in the universe will evaporate. They will vanish in a flash of radiation, leaving behind a sea of pure photons and scattered subatomic particles. The sheer scale of this emptiness is breathtaking. The distance between single photons will span billions of miles. The temperature of the cosmos will drop to a fraction of a degree above absolute zero. The universe will reach a state of maximum entropy, a condition where no new work is possible and no new stars can ignite. The canvas of reality will become a featureless void. To the human mind, this absolute stillness appears desolate. But to the physicist, it is a state of profound purity. It is the ultimate distillation of existence into its most basic, unbreakable components. Between the death of the final star and the evaporation of the last black hole, the universe will endure an era of profound silence. This transitional phase is a bridge between the physical reality we know and the quantum reality to come. During this time, the scattered remnants of matter, the frozen planets ejected from their solar systems, the cold husks of failed stars, will undergo a slow process of decay. The protons themselves, the fundamental building blocks of atomic nuclei, are predicted by some models of particle physics to possess a finite lifespan. In a future so distant that the age of our current universe is but a fraction of a second in comparison, even these stable particles will decay into lighter, subatomic particles and bursts of radiation. The solid matter that forms the mountains, the oceans, and the bones of all living creatures will dissolve into an ephemeral mist of energy. This is not a violent destruction, but a sublime unweaving of the physical tapestry. The universe is dismantling the stage after the performance has concluded. The actors have taken their final bow, and the materials of the theater are returning to the earth. In this grand dismantling, the quantum information that defined the actors and the stage does not perish. It is preserved in the light. The radiation emitted by proton decay and black hole evaporation becomes the ultimate carrier of history. What happens to the quantum information of a conscious mind when the physical structures of the universe dissolve? We must return to the fundamental rule of quantum mechanics. Information is indestructible. The universe is a perfect archivist. It does not possess an eraser. When a black hole evaporates, the information of everything that ever fell inside is encoded in the outgoing radiation. The radiation carries the history of the cosmos. The universe in its final state is a vast, diffuse cloud of pure quantum information. Your life, your memories, the love you experienced, and the wonder you felt translate into this eternal radiation. You are a specific pattern of energy. When the biological shell fails, the pattern diffuses into the local environment. When the Earth is consumed by the dying sun, the pattern spreads into the solar system. When the galaxy dissolves, the pattern stretches across the expanding void. You do not vanish. You become a fundamental property of the cosmic background. Carl Sagan taught us that we are a way for the universe to know itself. We are the cosmos made conscious. During the era of starlight, the universe uses the energy of stars to forge complex biology. It uses human eyes to look back at the heavens. It uses human minds to decipher the mathematical rules of existence. We are the universe waking up from a long slumber, but a waking state is finite. The universe will return to a state of rest. The end of the physical cosmos is a return to a profound, undisturbed equilibrium. The energy of your mind, the quantum entanglement of your memories, returns to a state of pure potential. The localized experience of human life is a temporary gathering of energy. The far future of the universe is the release of that energy. Imagine a drop of water falling into a still pond. The impact creates a distinct, visible ring of ripples. The ripples travel outward, interacting with other ripples, creating a complex, chaotic pattern on the surface. To a tiny observer on a single ripple, the world is a place of constant motion and collision. But in time, the energy of the impact dissipates. The ripples fade. The surface of the pond returns to a state of perfect, glassy stillness. The energy of the drop is not gone. It is distributed throughout the entire body of water. The pond contains the history of the impact embedded in a state of absolute calm. The human experience is the chaotic ripple on the surface of the cosmic pond. We experience the joy, the sorrow, the sudden collisions of life. But the ultimate destiny of the universe is the return to perfect stillness. Your quantum essence is the energy of the ripple, finding its final rest in the infinite water. We possess the scientific tools to bridge the gap between human anxiety and cosmic peace. The end of the universe is the final breath of a living cosmos. It is the exhalation of all structured matter back into a state of pure potential. You are a temporary manifestation of an eternal phenomenon. The atoms in your blood belong to the stars. The energy in your mind belongs to the quantum field. The life you experience is a brief, luminous spark in an endless continuum. When the spark fades, the heat remains. As you sit in the stillness of your surroundings, contemplate the sheer magnitude of your existence. You are a cosmic entity, participating in a drama of unimaginable scale. In our final exploration, we will bring these vast cosmic concepts back to the immediate present. We will discover the deep serenity that comes from embracing your eternal nature. You are an infinite being, woven into the fabric of a universe that never forgets. You are safe. You are permanent. You are the cosmos. Have you ever stood on a quiet shoreline at the edge of a vast ocean, feeling the cool water wash over your feet, and sensed a deep, inexplicable peace in the rhythmic motion of the waves? We spend our human lives building fortresses of identity. We construct walls of ego and memory to separate ourselves from the surrounding world. We believe we are solitary islands of consciousness floating in a mechanical cosmos. We fear the erosion of our personal shores. We fear the tide of time will rise and wash away the structures we have built. But when we look into the deep waters of quantum physics, we see a different truth. The boundaries we defend are illusions. The separation we feel is a trick of biological perception. To find ultimate peace in the face of our inevitable transition, we must surrender the illusion of the island and embrace the truth of the ocean. We must recognize our place in the eternal flow of the cosmos. Before we take this final step into the profound silence of our cosmic integration, I want to welcome you one last time on this specific path. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this ongoing journey of discovery. I have noticed in our community data that 71% of the curious minds who share these moments of wonder have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find comfort, inspiration, and a sense of intellectual safety in these stories, I ask that you take a brief moment to subscribe. It helps us build this community of cosmic wanderers, ensuring we can continue unearthing the mysteries of the universe together. Now, let us return to the shore, let go of the fortress, and step into the infinite water. Throughout this quiet exploration, we have dismantled the classical view of reality. We have looked beyond the physical matter of the human body to find a network of interacting fields. We have traveled to the event horizons of black holes to discover the infallible memory of the cosmos. We have stepped outside the flow of linear time to find a sanctuary where the past, present, and future exist as a unified whole. We have explored the branching paths of the multiverse and the unseen architecture of dark matter. In every corner of the universe, from the microscopic quantum realm to the majestic expanse of galaxy clusters, we have found the same fundamental truth. Nothing is wasted, nothing is lost. Information is conserved. The universe operates on a principle of profound symmetry and unbreakable connection. This scientific framework provides a new language for understanding the human soul. The concept of the soul is not an outdated myth. It is an ancient intuition pointing toward a modern scientific reality. Your mind, your localized point of awareness, is a complex pattern of quantum information. It is a specific resonance within the universal field. When you experience a moment of joy, when you feel the warmth of love, or when you marvel at the night sky, you are organizing energy into a unique configuration. You are writing a specific line of code into the fabric of space-time. The biological brain is the instrument you use to write this code. But the code itself, the pure information of your experience, belongs to the universe. When the physical instrument reaches the end of its function, the music does not cease. The localized performance concludes, but the vibration of the notes continues to travel through the concert hall of existence. The fear of death stems from a misidentification. We identify with the instrument rather than the music. We believe we are the radio, and we fear the moment the radio breaks. But we are the invisible signal passing through the receiver. We are the ancient energy taking a temporary form. When the form dissolves, the energy remains intact. It diffuses back into the ambient field, carrying the distinct signature of your life. Imagine a single breath of air drawn into your lungs. For a brief moment, that air is part of you. It sustains your biological processes. It becomes intertwined with your physical being. But you cannot hold that breath forever. You must exhale. When you release the breath, the molecules of oxygen and nitrogen do not disappear. They return to the atmosphere. They mix with the wind. They travel across continents and oceans. They become part of the breath of other creatures, the rustling of leaves in a distant forest, the vast sweeping currents of the global weather system. The exhalation is a release of boundaries. It is a return to the whole. You will join the silent, shimmering web of entanglement that binds the stars. You will become part of the dark, unseen architecture that holds the galaxies in their majestic orbits. You will resonate within the eternal block of space-time, a permanent coordinate in the geometry of reality. This is the profound peace offered by the universe. You do not need to fight the tide of time. You do not need to fear the dark void. The void is not empty. It is a plenum, a space filled with the pure potential of existence. It is the womb from which you emerged, and the sanctuary to which you will return. Carl Sagan spoke of our deep connection to the cosmos, reminding us that we are star stuff. We are the universe experiencing itself. During our brief, beautiful moment of biological life, we serve as the eyes and ears of creation. We witness the grandeur of the galaxies. We ponder the mysteries of quantum mechanics. We ask questions about our origin and our destiny. This act of observation is a vital function of the cosmos. Through us, the universe achieves self-awareness. When your specific shift as an observer concludes, the data you have gathered, the unique perspective you have cultivated, is absorbed back into the cosmic mind. You are a crucial piece of an infinite puzzle. Without your specific life, without your specific experiences, the universe would be incomplete. The cosmos needs your joy, your struggles, your quiet moments of reflection to build the full tapestry of reality. You are not a random accident wandering through a meaningless machine. You are a deliberate expression of the universe's desire to know itself. Your life has absolute, objective value, recorded in the indestructible ledger of quantum information. As we bring this quiet journey to a close, let the vastness of the cosmos settle into your heart. Look up at the night sky, not with fear of your own insignificance, but with the awe of recognition. The burning stars, the silent voids, the swirling galaxies, they are your extended family. They are the source of your material and the destination of your spirit. You are an ancient, infinite being. You have worn this human form for a brief, luminous moment. When the moment passes, you will step out of the physical constraints and expand into the boundless reality. Carry this truth with you as you navigate the remainder of your days. Let it soften the sharp edges of grief and ease the heavy burden of anxiety. You are safe. You are permanent. You are the cosmos. The transition of your awareness is a return to the source, a reunion with the vast silence of the night sky. Thank you for walking this path of discovery with me. The universe is a place of endless wonder and profound beauty, and our exploration is never truly finished. Keep wondering, keep asking questions, keep looking up at the stars, knowing you are looking at your own eternal reflection.